Welcome back to Whitt Acres. Today we're going to do a little bit of gardening. Oh, Pop. So we have another beautiful day here in February. We're not usually supposed to have this nice weather in my area in February, but I want to take advantage of it and get some of these smaller gardens cleaned up. I did pick up some black mulch that I want to use, and I only picked up a few bags. So this is one of the smaller gardens I want to do. This one's off the side of the patio and the wood burner here. It has a 9 bark as the centerpiece, and for a while I was filling up the bottom bed with poppies, calling it the poppy bed. But this one's a mess right now, and I want to get it all cleaned up, get all the old stuff cut back and pulled out of there. I am probably going to have to prune back this 9 bark. 9 barks don't really like to be pruned, but because of its location, I'm going to have to prune it back a little bit. And it's probably not going to be in this position much longer. We do want something else here. And this being a mature 9 bark, it's probably not going to respond well to transplanting. But I think I'm still going to try and relocate it whenever we do move it. But for it to stay in this position and get off the path and stop overshadowing the underbed here, I'm going to need to prune it back, and we're just going to see how it responds this year. The wall kind of fell over here, but I don't hate it. I might clean up the vines and leave that go. That kind of looks good. And there's some things to clean up out of this upper bed. But my favorite batch of daffodils is coming up right now, so I'm hoping they do well. Oh, Pop, what are you doing in here? You sweeping? All right, get to work. This bottom bed needs cleaned up and mulched. There is some hyacinths and crocus in here already, so they're going to be coming up. So I want to get a nice clean bed, so whenever they come up and bloom, it still looks nice. And I'm figuring this is going to take a bag of mulch on each bed. The other garden I want to do today is on the ramp bed. The rose bed's going to be a big project coming up here too, but we do have some daffodils and hyacinths coming up on the edge. And I want to get these step pots cleaned up as well, because we have some things coming up in the middle. It looks like some hyacinths are coming back up. And on this side, I saw some daffodils coming up in the middle pot. All the ducks are up there yelling, telling me to let them out to free range. This is what I call the ramp bed. It sits right beside the ramp. Echo's sitting on the ramp and it slopes down into the house. But I want to get this bed mulched over as well. We have some lilies coming up here, some irises along the wall, and even a penstemon coming back. I'm hoping this actually blooms this year. And this bed will probably take the other 2 bags of mulch that I got. So it doesn't sound much as I'm talking about it, but this is all I'm going to be able to get done today. Hopefully I'm going to be able to finish. But it would be nice to have these 2 spots, this one and the one down there, cleaned up around the pond. I'm still working on cleaning out the pond here, and I'm dumping all the algae I pull out up on the bank, and that's going to fertilize the bank, and then I can work on mulching the pond bank over. Oh, the geyser. And on a side note, my brother tried gardening for one season. He didn't have any luck, so he gave me his whole bed. What are you yelling about? What are you yelling about? Come on out. No, go into the grass. Go into the grass, girls. Yeah. You can spend some time out here. Alright, so I have 4 bags of mulch in here, 2 cubic feet each. And I also got some fence posts, but that's for the homestead. What are you doing? What? Something living underneath all this metal. Puppy, I'm not lifting all this up right now, buddy. No, if it made it under there, it's safe. That's a safe spot for it because you can't get to it. Yeah, that's why it's in there. It's not worth taking all this stuff off the top right now. If you want them, you got to get them before they run in the hole, puppy. All right, we got this area cleaned up a lot. And like I said, you can see the hyacinths coming up in the back here all along the face of the rock wall. And then some crocuses coming up in the middle here. It's not as big though. We have some daffodils coming up in the top bed as well as some daylilies. And this bed doesn't get as much sun, so it doesn't warm up as quick. So there should be some hostas that are gonna pop up in here as well. I pulled out a lot of the vine, but I don't want to kill the vine off completely. But it grows so fast, I just want to knock it back till it's just little nubs. Throughout the season, it's gonna grow really fast and cover up the rocks here and cover up the lines of the borders. So it's nice to knock it all the way back in the beginning of the season so you can see the rock wall and everything else. And then throughout the season, it changes. I got a pile here to go to the compost and a pile to go to the fire pit. And I found some balls that go left in there. But I think we're ready to go ahead and open the bags of mulch and get them spread across here. Got to straighten out this angel. These aren't really mine. My brother made these in his masonry class and gave them to my mom. So there's some of these that are just speckled around. Same with these cats that look like they need a paint job now. And the bird bath out in the island. Oh, the geyser's going. Gorgeous. Echo Pup's having fun hunting up by the pergola. And just like that, it is looking so much better over here. I didn't have quite enough to finish the whole bed, but that's okay. I don't think I will, but I'll see if I have any left over from doing the ramp bed and I'll just add it up here. But I'm happy with this area now. It's gonna look really good as it comes into spring. I'm gonna get the rest of this cleaned up and then move on down to the ramp bed. Now Pop. Yeah, you're always helping. Now I did take this 9 bark back pretty far. I don't know how it's going to recover this season, but if it doesn't recover very well, I might have to just plant a vine at the bottom and have it grow out and fill out this year, and then we'll replace it for next year. We do have some blooms over here in the corner. I believe these are Johnny jump ups. They're one of the first things to come up to bloom. They're not really a flower that people have on purpose. It's more of a weed in the yard, but it's a really nice ground cover, and it does put out a really nice early purple flower. Well, the fire pit's already full. We're definitely gonna have to have a fire this weekend. Chickens, what are you doing out here? I didn't open the gate yet. You bad fence hoppers. Now there's less to do down here in the ramp bed. I just want to get some of these bigger stalks that the mulch isn't going to cover. I want to get those out of there. I try to cover all my beds in the fall with some dry leaves, so I want to leave those on there, pun intended, and just cover it all up with a layer of mulch. I'm mainly just trying to get that fresh feeling of spring around here. So it seems I've underestimated how much mulch I need for this bed. This one probably needs 2 more. And the poppy bed over there could use another one. You can kind of get the idea. It's starting to look nice if you don't look at the whole thing. I'm going to go ahead and open up the cold frame, let it air out. It's warm enough today. It doesn't need to be closed. And I'm also going to plant some of the bunching onions. I didn't have any, so I picked these up when I got the mulch, and I'm going to get these planted in here. This needs some water. Yeah, it does. Go ahead and get this brace up here. What are you doing, pup? You getting a drink? You trying to fish? I don't see any fishies. They must be in the barrel. I'm going to plant these bunching onions right up the middle here in little groups of about 10. Then we can grab the watering can and get these watered. Oh, the geyser's on. Up, pop. You got a front row view. I don't see anything germinating yet, so I'll keep you updating when I do. I might end up sowing some more seeds in here just to keep a succession going. But I'm going to go ahead and get these pots on the steps cleaned up now. In these pots we have some wild hyacinths in the center, and a lot of them have some snapdragon coming back. I'm surprised that the snapdragon was able to survive in these pots over winter. Only these two have the hyacinths. This one doesn't have anything but the snapdragon. These three on the other side have snapdragons all coming back in them, but the one in the middle here has some daffodils coming up in the center, and the one down below has a little bit of daffodils popping up. But I'm going to let these go for now. I just wanted to get them cleaned up. I'll probably end up grabbing some daffodils that are around the property that you can't see very well and just dig those up and plug them into the pots while they bloom, just to add a spring feeling to the area until it's growing season. But the ducks and the chickens are yelling, so it's time to let them out and go up and do some work at the barn. And we got a small group of chickens down here. What do we have? Dalmatian, Lil Roe, looks like Anna, and two snowballs. These two snowballs always come down here, and now they brought over a couple of friends. What are you doing over here? You silly chickens. What, puppy? They're just dust bathing over here. You guys are far from the barn. Oh, look at her go. Far from the barn, but it doesn't take too long to get there. No one else feels like running. But down here in the vegetable garden, when we still had the snow on the ground, before we had it all thaw out and turn to mud, I had my dad bring down buckets and buckets of mulch. So I have a lot of wood chips down here that need spread out. I have them all the way down the squash mound, and a big old pile here to spread around the vegetable garden pathways. It all needed brought down here before the field turned to mud, but it doesn't need spread yet. I still have to get the whole squash mound cleaned up before I can spread those wood chips, but it looks like Echo's going to work on it now. And it's next morning. It's a little bit colder than it was yesterday, but I didn't have time to finish this yesterday. My dad did pick up a couple bags of mulch, so I can finish this morning. So to get this video finished, I want to mulch out the rest of the ramp bed here, as well as finish the poppy bed mulch and the 9-bark mulch, and maybe even dress up those step pots a little bit. It's only a high of 37 today. I was actually hoping to finish this yesterday. I don't like gardening in the cold. Alright, so I just used 2 of the damaged bags he picked up. He probably got them on discount, but I wanted to use those first and see if I could make it. There's a little spot I didn't cover, so I got to open up one of the other bags, but I think that's going to cover this one and the poppy bed. So to do these couple beds, I picked up 4 bags originally. I thought that was what I was going to need, but then I ran out. So I had my dad pick up 4 more bags to finish it off, and he got me 4 bags plus those 2 ripped bags. Up. So this one should finish the ramp bed. And then any leftover will go up to the poppy bed. That'll do. And there it is, 1 garden bed ready for spring. Up. I'm leaving the cold frame closed today, and the rest of this bag can go up here to finish off the poppy bed. It always looks so good whenever you put the fresh mulch down. And now that's 2 garden beds ready for spring. And I have those other 3 bags of mulch. So I think I might end up doing the garden bed out here on the front patio. Out front here, there's a little bit more work to do than just laying down the mulch. I need to fix that little border fence there and do some weeding around the edge. And as the weather warms up and I get that weeded out, I'm going to need to add another fresh bag of marble along the outside. I'm not able to do it all at once, so I'm just trying to get it done little by little. And today I have enough energy to do the mulch. With the mulch in there and the edging up, it's looking so much better. It's not a lot, but it's a start. With the last bag of mulch I have here, I'm just gonna top off the step pots on both sides here, and I'll put the rest here on the bench bed that I grow my vines out of. There's also a bunch of gladiolas in there as well, but this is mainly where I put the trellises to grow the vines up the patio. Poppy, the snow is starting to fly here. I think the gardening day is over. I got the step pots mulched up, so the daffodils should be popping through there, and on this side we have hyacinths already popping up. Don't worry about the rose bed, that's going to be coming up soon. And I also got a thin layer over the gladiolas here in the bench bed, and the ramp bed is looking all clean. So I have a lot of gardens here to take care of before spring arrives, so we're just taking them all piece by piece. That's going to be all for this one. If you want to keep following along, make sure to subscribe down below, hit that like button before you leave, and you can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I'm talking.